Hi guys, Lex for Fan Media Network, and I'm here today with Gabby HAJDUK. Can you introduce yourself, Gabby?
Yeah, hi, my name's Gabby, and I'm a junior at the University of Illinois right now, and I'm studying journalism with a focus in sports. And I'm currently the sports editor at the Daily Illini, our student newspaper down in Champaign. And I've been at the DI for about 3 years now, covering a bunch of different sports from women's golf, women's basketball, to now mainly men's basketball and football, which has been really exciting the last couple of years. Hopefully things are starting to turn around for the Illinois sports world. But yeah, we'll see. It's been fun covering Illinois sports.
Definitely. So on Friday, Illinois and Iowa played a very good Big Ten game. So we touch on that, like what you think they did well and what they could improve on, and just stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like a highly anticipated game from the jump. Obviously, I think everybody was surprised that the teams weren't scheduled to play twice this year, which I wish they were. And I won't forgive the Big Ten for not doing that. But it was honestly such a good game. And you knew it was going to be one of those games, literally from the first minute, that it was going to come down to the wire. Like, it was going to be a last minute run or something. And that's kind of exactly what happened. I think the biggest thing that Illinois did well is contain Luka Garza. Obviously, Garza's going to come into any game and score in double figures. Like, I can't remember last time he didn't do that, but containing him to under 20 points, I think, was huge. Obviously just limiting the paint presence as a whole. Georgie Bashanichvili and Kofi Coburn kind of both tackled that together. And then you have role players like Trent Frazier step up, which was huge because Kofi, I think he didn't even reach a double-double in that game, which is super surprising for him. So to have a guy like Trent come out and put up 24 points, and then I was always going to put up his points too. So I think they played probably their best all-around game against Iowa, and I mean they had to. Iowa's one of the best teams in the country, so if you're going to beat them, you have to be at your best level.
Definitely, especially when you're going to a team like Luka Garza, Jordan Mahan, and if you don't have the defense, you're not going to win the game. And Illinois did show that. So for the Big Ten, it is unfortunate Iowa and Illinois only play once, which, again, we won't forget the Big Ten for that because it was such a good matchup. So hopefully they do get to play in that Big Ten tournament and hopefully in March at the tournament. So what do you think is going to happen with the Big Ten with all the other teams? Do you see Illinois and Iowa still fighting for that number one spot once March comes around?
Yeah, so I definitely think that's one of the biggest questions right now, especially with everything going on with Michigan athletics, because they're still shut down, and now there's rumors that they're canceling Illinois and Michigan's game on February 11th, next Thursday. So we're kind of at this point that we hit with football where it's like, okay, who has played enough games to be considered for Big Ten champion? Because right now Michigan's still at the top, but they haven't played in a couple weeks, and it's like, when will they play? So I think depending on what they do with Michigan, I really think it'll come down to Michigan, Iowa, and Illinois. I just think Iowa is still playing at a top level. Obviously, they suffered 2 losses in a row, but they came against 2 good teams, and I'm sure they'll bounce back. You don't see Luka Garza lose many in a row, so I'm sure they'll take a win soon. But I think Illinois is playing their best basketball right now. I'm not sure if they're just on a mini hot streak or if they can continue this through the rest of the season. They do have a pretty hard schedule, or a hard next couple of weeks coming up. And as far as Michigan goes, obviously they're such a good team, but it's like, if you're playing half the games that the other teams are playing, can you really be considered for the Big Ten title? Exactly. And are they going to make the same exception they did with Ohio State, with football? Who knows? I don't see that happening, but I think right now it's probably between those 3 teams, with Ohio State kind of the dark horse candidate.
Yeah, definitely. So today's National Girls, Women in Sports Day. What does this day mean to you as a woman in sports journalism?
Yeah, I think it's nice to just have this special day where your timeline is your Twitter, Instagram feed is just filled with women sharing photos, sharing stories, about their time as a woman in the sports media, sports business, literally any sports field. I think, we're at a point in society right now where it's being more accepted and it's more widely accepted, but there is still a stigma around women and girls in sports, and it's still a male-dominated field. So I think it's just empowering to see all these women doing different things, and it's I don't know, it's just nice to see the people you follow or you know, I'm sure you do, like you have this little community of people you've never even met, but it's like you just interact through like social media, and it's so cool. So I just think it's nice to see. Some days you feel like there's no one else out there like you, because the job you're doing, you're surrounded only by men. That's really what I
experience. Like when you're at a presser for basketball, football, it's all men. You're like,
it's all men. You're just
intimidating, and like especially like in my classes at Iowa, like if I speak about like sports, like men like look at me differently, which isn't okay. So it's nice to like see that like empowerment, that it's like you're not the only one doing it.
Well, yeah, and it's like your feed is filled with all these women, and it's like it's nice to be able to look back on that with days you're feeling like you are the only person going through this, because you're not. But sometimes you feel that way because you aren't surrounded by those women in real life. You only have them through, you know, the social media community, which is great. So I think it is nice that, you know, today I think should be filled with celebrating women in sports, and, you know, just all the women that have come before us and who will come after us and continue to like break down these barriers. And I just think it's important, like, for us to have these conversations and for us to like be out there expressing what we're doing, so, you know, younger girls can look at people like us and be like, oh wow, like, you know, they're doing that, and so I can too. Because, you know, that's what you and I did when we were growing up, you know, looking at like a Doris Burke or someone, you know. So it's nice to have those people to look up to.
Do you have anything else to add right now?
No, I mean, the only thing is I'm just excited for the Big Ten basketball season to finish out. I think it's going to be a tight race, and I think we're going to see a lot of Big Ten teams in the NCAA tournament and in March Madness. And I just, no matter who it is, I hope a Big Ten team can find a way to win it all this year. I think that'd be so exciting just for the conference, and the level of competition that's in the conference is so high that I think any Big Ten team really at the top is deserving of it. So I'm excited for March.
We're so used to like seeing teams like Duke, UNC, like very Big Ten dominated, which is very exciting for like us that go to that school. So it's like different.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm excited, and hopefully someone, whether it's Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, maybe even Ohio State, comes away with the win. I mean, you never know what can happen in March, so you can't really count anybody out.
Yeah, and it's like, especially losing the March Madness last year, it's very exciting for it to be back this year.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'll be linking all of Gabby's links below.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, simply create a profile on Fan Media's iOS app or website. Select your teams and make a short intro video on your phone. Show hosts, reporters, former players, and superfans can use our Get Verified feature and make an intro video as well, and our mobile newsroom staff will reach out.